Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Diago Speedy Wonder Ride book from Kamen Rider Saber. So this is actually a Wonder Ride book that can transform into a motorcycle for your RKF figures. So you can actually use it with the sword driver. So it's a gimmick item and an action figure item. It's kind of crossing into both worlds, which is pretty neat. We've seen this before. We had a Ride Watch that could do this back in Geo. I'm trying to think. I think... No, Build and 01 both had that, like, cell phone that turned into the bike. They were very similar toys, in my opinion. Probably a slight remold to get from one to the other. But this is actually pretty neat. I like it better if you're going to make a bike that turns into something. I'd rather it be a gimmick item that I could actually use in the driver. I think that's kind of cool. But you can see right here in the front, picture of Saber, picture of the book, of the motorcycle. On this side, you can see the RKF figure on top of the motorcycle. And then, of course, over here you see it in the driver. Not too much going on the bottom. It does tell you the batteries are included, which is nice. And then you just get some more pictures of the same book, motorcycle mode. There's Saber. There is pretty much everything you see. Use it in the driver, turned into the motorcycle. Does make sounds on its own, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we'll try it out with the RKF figure for Saber. So, pretty standard packaging. I'm going to go ahead, get it out of there, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here it is out of the packaging. As you can see, it's not a perfectly rectangular Wonder Ride book. It does have some motorcycle bits popping out of the top. But I think the front of the book looks good. Very much in keeping with what we're used to. I like the design. Interestingly enough, though, it doesn't have those 3 blocks to indicate which spot of the driver that it's supposed to go into. The back of the box shows us that it's supposed to go all the way to the right if you're looking at the driver, all the way to the left if you're wearing it. But that is missing from the front, which I think is interesting because every other Wonder Ride book has that. So I guess because he really just kind of pops it in to activate it and then it becomes the bike and he rides it. So it doesn't really matter. You just have to temporarily use a spot. But yeah, so it's a little bit thicker than your average Wonder Ride book as well. There is a button down here on the bottom, which if you press this gray button here, sometimes you got to really hit it. There we go. So this is kind of interesting. The page of the book just kind of looks like part of the motorcycle, like folded up. It's kind of what you're seeing underneath. So like you can see the wheel kind of completes in the picture. This is the part of the bike that's going to flip up later. So it's just interesting. They didn't go with like a page of a book. They just decided to show you motorcycle parts. You can see you have that language written over here. There's kind of a long piece that sticks out. That's what connects it in when you close it up. So there you go. There is a button on the back here. Alright, I think that's it. I think it just alternates between those two. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Now if we want to go ahead and transform it, we have to kick it open again. Alright, I don't need to hear that again. A little preview of some of the sounds to come. But anyway, so that's going to flip this open. Then you're going to take this and flip it all the way around. And then this has the tiniest little peg right there, which is going to peg in right there. So it's not a like 100%, but it pegs in fairly decently. At this point, you're going to flip this part around like so. Then you're going to rotate this section up and click it into place. Then you're going to straighten out the handlebars. And then you're going to rotate this section up like so. So there you go. There is the bike. It's not too bad. It's a little bland from this side, but it does have a kickstand, as you can see. But yeah, it doesn't really look that great from this side. And this side, honestly, it's not much better. It's a lot of just a big field of red. because it is just a giant rectangle in the center of the bike. So they did their best. I mean, you have wheels that spin, which looks good. You know, but it's still not perfect. I'm very interested to see what the Soto version of the bike looks like, because that probably won't transform into a book. It'll probably just be a bike, so it could be better. But it's okay. If we go ahead and bring in the RKF version of Saber, you know, it's not bad. And I'm just realizing now that you can't see him, so let me zoom out. I like it when they can kind of sit astride the bike and actually touch the ground still, which is not really happening here. Let me go ahead and try to take his sword out of his hand to see if we can get him to grasp the handlebars. So let's see here. There we go. All right, so that's not terrible. We'll bend up his feet. Now he's still going to have a cape because that doesn't change, so that's going to look a little weird off to the side. You know, it is what it is, I guess. And obviously you can put one of his other hands in. But I feel like that also with the I feel like it tilts a lot with the kickstand. I wish it tilted a little less. I mean, these are minor nitpicks, but I don't know. Just because it tilts, it almost looks like he's getting ready to spill out. It looks like he's getting ready to fall off of it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't have him posed on it well. I mean, I'm guilty of that. But yeah, it's just weird because he has that one piece of cape or skirt, whatever you want to call that, just hanging off the side there. It's okay. It's not that great. Honestly, a lot of times with these, the figures don't sit atop them well because they have to be a weird gimmick, and it doesn't always work out. This is okay. I don't think it's phenomenal, but it's okay. It does roll well, so it's got that going for it. I think it looks okay. I think it works with the figure okay. Not perfect, but it's all right. Let's go ahead. I'm going to transform it back into the book, and we'll check it out in the driver. Alright, so first things first, I just want to apologize. I've been getting some comments on my previous videos that I'm not using these new books by themselves in the driver, and I guess it never occurred to me to do that because in the show they're not transformation books, they're supplemental books, so they're only ever using them with the transformation books. So I didn't realize there was additional sounds to get by using them by themselves, so I just want to apologize for that real quick, and going forward, of course, I'll be doing that. So we'll start here with Diago Speedy by itself. Let me go ahead. Just want to make sure that this is turned on. It is. We'll go ahead and pop this in. So it plays the whole track from when you just open it on your own, not in the driver. And you can notice there, sometimes when it's spring-loaded and it flips open, it kind of pulls this apart a little bit, and you kind of have to push it back in, because this doesn't really like peg in anywhere specific. If we go ahead and put the sword back in, And now we'll try it with Brave Dragon. So there you have it. So real quick, I did forget to point out that when it's in bike mode, you can press that button I pointed out earlier. So you can get a couple more, motorcycle sounds, basically. This one's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just kind of very middle of the road. If you really want a bike for your RKF Saber, then you're going to want to pick this one up. And it does have its own sounds, which are pretty cool. And he looks good posed next to it. I just don't really think he looks that good riding it, because it is just a giant rectangle at the end of the day, and the figures don't really fit well on just a giant rectangle like that. Also, I feel like with the kickstand, it leans a little too far back, and that makes him look like he's falling off of it. Also, I just don't really think, as far as the design goes, it's that good. I mean, from this side, it especially looks not great, but I mean, that's usually one side looks, you can see the transformation bits and everything like that. But this just, I mean, you can tell it's a giant rectangle. The paint just looks kind of like they slopped it on as a way to kind of give it detail. And then they give you a bunch of silver here. I don't know. It doesn't look that sharp. It looks kind of messy to me. It looks kind of rushed. So I don't know. It's just weird. Like I said, I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's terrible. I think as a bike, it's kind of meh. I think as a book, it's kind of fun. I mean, it does fit in the driver. It makes fun sounds. It kind of just plays the same jingle over and over again for the most part, but, you get a couple good sounds out of it. It does open and close like a book. So, again, it's an okay Wonder Ride book. It's an okay motorcycle. It doesn't really excel at either. It just kind of does both halfway, if that makes sense. So, it's going to be up to you guys if you think you need this or not. Your mileage is going to vary. Maybe wait for a sale. I don't know if I would rush right out and grab this one, because it's going to be the same kind of situation where he uses it in the show twice and you never see it again. That's usually what happens with these. So, I don't know. I would say let it sit for now, and if there's a sale later on, or you can get a, percentage off something later on, maybe grab it just to complete the collection. But if you never get this one, I don't think you're missing out on that much. So, yeah, that's just what I think. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.